live. Are we live? I think we're live. Woohoo! Welcome to Fear Buster Friday. Woohoo! We're live. Live on Fear Buster Friday. Did I scare you? It's okay. Fear can be your companion. You just don't let it drive the car. All right, welcome to Fear Buster Friday. Woohoo! Lydia Rieger here, your Fear Buster coach. And on Fridays, we bust those fears. Ready? Let's bust them. We bust those fears. We play with freedom, faith, and fun. And today's topic has a lot to do with the faith part. I'm still reading U Squared by Price Pritchett. Get this little gem of a book. It's awesome. There's a lot of glare there. Woo! There we go. U Squared by Price Pritchett. We just have a couple more chapters left. Let's see. I'm curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chapters left. So the chapters are really short, which is really awesome because there's so much that he packs into each chapter. And, you know, if you're like me, sometimes you're just so busy and you don't have a lot of time to read, but you want to read something inspiring. So get this book, read a chapter a day, and let it sink in. So without further ado, let's read the next chapter, shall we? It is called Get Uncomfortable. What? You might say, what? I don't like to get uncomfortable. You know, I have a friend that doesn't really like to sweat much. You know, like who really enjoys that anyway? I don't know, but but you have to get uncomfortable sometimes to get a result that you want. So we're going to get uncomfortable tonight. Here we go. It's just 2 pages long. I'm on page 27 and 28. Get uncomfortable. Quantum leaps jerk you out of your comfort zone. Bum, bum, bum. Prepare yourself for a pretty wild ride. You're going to cover some unfamiliar terrain and encounter obstacles you've never faced before. It can feel like the safety chain linking you with behavior patterns that worked in the past is being stretched to the limit. At times you may wonder if the situation is about to spin out of control. Who's felt like that? I know I have. Put it in the comments. Have you felt like that before? Like your life is spinning out of control? Like you're on this merry-go-round, woo, 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 and you might go flying off somewhere. Maybe you're holding on for dear life. All right, well, you're not alone, but there's something we can do about it. So here we go. The normal reaction is to want to hold on tightly, but you're going to have to learn to let go. U squared is achieved through release. Yep. So turn loose if you want to jump. Don't be surprised if you grow uneasy. That's a predictable part of the process. When you take the quantum leap, you ride the situation, but you really don't control it all that much. In fact, the only way you control it is by, listen up, number 1, knowing where you're going. Okay, you got to know where you're going. A lot of us don't. We don't have a goal in mind, and so we're just like this, I don't know, little toy ship that just spins round and round on the sea. Number 2, continuing the pursuit. You know, a lot of us, there was a couple chapters ago that talked about that, you know, you got to continue that pursuit. And too many of us just give up too early. You know, we could be this close and we don't know. You know, what if you're this close? Okay, you don't know. Keep going. Okay, let's see. Number 3, learning from your mistakes. Okay, if we're always like, oh my God, that was such a mess up, a flub, If we're always like, gosh, that was like such a failure. Oh, maybe I'm just not meant to do this, you know? And that happens. That happens to the best of us. But if we act like that and we don't learn from the mistake, then we're never going to be able to really see if our dreams are going to come true. That's just the sad truth of it. So you got to keep going. You got to make those mistakes and learn from them. Okay, continuing to read now. A quantum leap is an act of faith, exhilarating and possibly scary at the same time. You have to give up a large degree of security and safety, plow through greater amounts of ambiguity and confusion and uncertainty, wrestle with a totally new set of problems, invite failure, and possibly contend with criticism from other people who have been part of your support group in the past. So I'm going to pause there and just say that, yes, that has happened to me before and can happen to you. And you might be scratching your head and you might be hurt thinking, gosh, that person really supported me in the past. Why isn't he or she supporting me now? This is something I really want to do. I don't get it. And the sad truth is that sometimes those people just, maybe they just don't see, your purpose. Sadly, they may not see that. But I think most of the time, it's more about them caring about you and they don't want to see you fail. So they might be like, are you sure you want to do that? It's also possible that they see you going for something big and maybe they wish they could do that too, and maybe part of them is, feeling a little left out. So, what I like to do is think about those things, think about, the reasons why they might say things, because sometimes it's easy for me to quickly go to that place of, gosh, why did they say that? That's not very nice. And then they're not being very supportive. But, really they might be going through something themselves. Maybe they're feeling unsure of themselves and maybe they just want to help protect you. So think about that. But don't let it stop you from going forward. Okay? All right, here, I'm going to read on now. It says, make you uncomfortable? That's a good sign. If you're experiencing no anxiety or discomfort, the risk you're taking probably isn't worthy of you. The only risks that aren't a little scary are the ones you've outgrown. So think about that, okay? Because, if you're like, oh, I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to go for that bigger goal. I'm just going to do this because it feels safe and easy and good, And I'm good. Like, I also have a friend who's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep the status quo. I mean, literally, he says that he doesn't really want to rock the boat in his life, that he just wants to be, let's see, what's the word he used? Like satisfied. He's like, I'm satisfied. I'm like, well, don't you want more out of your life? But he's just kind of satisfied. And I say, never be satisfied. Always go for that next thing. Anyway, back to the book. Okay, back to the book. Let's see. Yes, if you're experiencing no anxiety or discomfort, the risk you're taking probably isn't worthy of you. Okay, yes, outgrown. The risks are, they're a little scary, but if they're not scary enough, those are the ones you've outgrown. Okay, here we are. A high comfort level provides solid evidence that you're playing it safe, not growing, not really testing your limits at all, and not in the process of a quantum leap. You might be making gradual progress, that's possible, but you're not going for a breakthrough. And you see, that's what we want. So I coach my clients to go for the breakthrough. So, we're not about gradual progress. Progress is nice, I guess, no matter how much progress there is. But when I coach my clients, it's not about gradual progress. I want to see them get a breakthrough and get that quantum leap. So that's what I'm about. All right, U squared carries you beyond your commonplace everyday habits and calls for a little more nerve. So just go into this expecting a touch of anxiety. Uneasiness is a predictable psychological reaction when a quantum leap is underway. So just know that it's absolutely normal, like if you're feeling some anxiety about some of the things you're doing, it's okay. It's actually a good thing. Then you're a little bit out of your comfort zone, maybe a lot out of your comfort zone, and that is okay. You're going to get the quantum leap that way. It has been said that if you will do the thing you fear, death of fear is certain. Ooh, I like that, and I haven't heard that before. I mean, I have read this book before, but I forgot about that part, so that's really cool. Courage is not the absence of fear and anxiety. It's proceeding in spite of those feelings. So press on. And that's the end of that chapter. Woohoo! Love and like this, okay? And share it with your friends who need some inspiration on how they can achieve their quantum leap. See, I think just like this chapter has said, it is totally an act of faith. You have to let go sometimes. You just have to, because when you're holding on too tightly, you're not going to experience the thing you want. You're not going to experience your next breakthrough, your jump, your leap, whatever you call it. And I like the part about how if you're feeling like it's safe, to like everything's okie dokie, that it's not worthy of you. You see, you got to get some uncomfortableness, then it's worthy of you. So, you could have some pretty cool, worthy goals, but they're not really like that big dream, okay? If you're not feeling at least some uncomfortableness, okay? So you got to get willing to be uncomfortable in order to go for those bigger dreams. And then finally, another point that I think is awesome in this chapter is that courage is proceeding in spite of the feelings of the fear. And we're always going to have these feelings of some anxiety, some inadequacy, some fear. You're going to have these things. It's okay, but that you proceed anyway. You do it anyway, because then that fear or whatever, that doubt that you've had, then that goes away. Then you go up to the next level, and then you'll have another fear or anxiety or something, but you press on anyway. You see, and that's how it's kind of like a ladder or steps. You keep on going. So I wanted to end with a little story, and it's a story about me. All of a sudden, when I was at a water hole, I just thought, oh, you know what? Maybe, I should do this. I should swing on that rope and jump in the water, and it's not like it was a big dream of mine to be Tarzan, and then plunge in the water or anything. But I just, I thought to myself, I should do that. There was this thing, and I've been there a couple other times and I didn't have a big desire to do it. But then this time I did. And so I thought, gotta go for it, right? If you're thinking about it, you gotta just do it. Take the plunge. So I go there, and there was a woman helping, and there's this huge rock. And I'm a small woman, and the rock was almost as tall as me, and I'm like, and there was no easy way to get up on it. You just have to climb up. You just have to do it. So there I was. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna climb this thing. I got up, and there's not much of a spot to really put your feet. It's maybe the size a little bit bigger than my 2 feet, and that's it. But I had help. I didn't have help climbing it, but once I got up and stood up, I had some help, and the lady handed me the rope. And so we talked before I went like Tarzan and swinging around before I did that and plunged into the water. What happened was I asked her some questions. I wanted to go over what I was going to be doing, because you have to kind of like swing yourself around a tree, the same tree that the rope is tied on. So I had to literally like propel myself in a certain direction. So we talked about which way I should go and what I should do and how I should aim and everything. So she was like my coach with this, you see. And then and I was holding on to the rope, and then she lets go. I'm like, no, hold on to it just a minute more until I'm ready. And but that's good. This is my coach helping me, right? And then and she told me where to put my hands, and so I felt comfortable with one up and one down, and she's like, that's fine, but just get as high as you can get your hands. And so I did that. And so but I thought to myself, what if it slips? What if I slip, and I don't want to slip? But luckily there were knots on there, so I made sure that my hands were above 2 different knots. And but think about this. Think about if you're holding onto a rope like that and you got to swing. So I had to actually, now, if you got to try to imagine this, you're standing up on a rock, you're holding this rope. You can't just swing yourself forward, because you'll end up going towards land and big rocks, and then possibly hitting a tree. So, but the water is to your left, okay? So the water's to my left, and that's where I want to go. But in order to get there, I had to actually swing right. I had to propel myself that way instead of that way, so that I could end up over there. But I really had to go this way first. So that was an act of faith, and that's sort of counterintuitive, because you're thinking, well, wait, you should really go, this is the way, right? But no, you have to go right to go left. All right, so that's what I did. And then at one point, you have to let go. You just have to let go, or you're gonna, the rope will just swing back towards land, and you'll end up hitting a tree. And if you drop yourself there, you're going to hit the rocks. So huge act of faith, and then you have to let go at some point at the right time. And so I did this, and it was awesome, and I did everything right. The only thing my coach said was, you could have held on just a little bit more, but I let go at the right time in general, and was able to plunge down into the water. But she said the only thing that you might want to do next time is hold on for just a second longer. But it was so cool. And I'm using this as an example of other goals and dreams that you and me, that we want to take in our life. We have to kind of know, we have to sort of know, like, and sometimes this is hard to know, right? You have a destiny, like a path in mind, but sometimes the quantum leap requires you to, what you think is like a deviation, and it's sort of this unexpected, like, trying to think of the right word. It's like, you think you should do one thing, but you really need to do another. It's that's what it is. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's like thinking outside the box. And Price Pritchett has a chapter in U Squared about this too. And I'm just not remembering, like what it was, but maybe I can find it while I'm talking. I think it had to do with ignoring unconventional approaches. But anyway, that's what you have to do. You got to do sort of the opposite of what you think you should do sometimes. And so that's how it was with this rope swing. And then what did I have to do at one point before the rope comes swinging back to where it started? I had to let go. And then it was a wonderful splash, and I had an awesome time doing that. So, allow that to be an example for you in your quantum leap as far as your big goal and big dream in your life. And then you will get there. You will absolutely get there. So what is, usually I give us a fear bust a move. So what's your fear bust a move today? You want to remember that it's an act of faith and to let go. Don't hold on too tightly, because our dreams, sometimes we think it has to be a certain way, but it really doesn't. So we hold it with an open hand, open hands. We say this or something even better. So your fear bust a move is to write down your goal or dream in detail, and write down after that, say this or something even better. And every time you come across any kind of stoppage, what appears to be something that's stopping you or a fear feeling, tell yourself this or something even better. This or something even better. And then go forward with courage, because courage is proceeding in spite of the fear. All right, that's your fear bust a move, to write down those things. And remember, like, you can put maybe a sticky note somewhere that reminds you to do this when you're in the thick of, I don't know what to do. Okay? Awesome. You're awesome. And remember to make every day a fear buster day. Bye-bye for now.